Hi there, everyone. Thanks so much for coming. This is the retrofitting breakout room. I'm just going to wait maybe one or two for people to pop in. Okay, it looks like the holding steady. All right. So welcome again. Thank you all for choosing the retrofitting breakout room for the DesignPlus session. I'm Bree Brown again, Cuyamaca's Distance Education Coordinator. Thanks for joining me. So the first thing I want to know is if there were any questions, because I know we kind of went fast in those couple of slides. Anybody have any difficulty enabling the DesignPlus tools or need to see that again?
I have a question. I think you mentioned if we already kind of activate it, does it stay activated for future courses as well, and we don't have to reactivate it?
Yeah, that's correct, with a caveat. Well, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let's see here. So if I were to go into a page here, you can see that my tools are popping out right here. But what you want to make sure of is the first time that you do this, you will see a gear icon right under the design tools sidebar title here, a gear icon with like two smaller gears off the side. You want to click that and make sure you select automatically launch tools in that pop-up window. And that way it will automatically open every time.
How do you launch it again? Because I didn't click that the first time and now mine's gone.
Yeah, no worries. So let's see here. I'm going to show this. So to enable the DesignPlus tools on a PC, you will click Alt-Shift-D on your keyboard or Control-1. Both of those should work on a PC. And then on a Mac, you would click Option-Shift-D.
Yeah, Bree, for me, when I did that on my Mac, it did pop up, but I have, I think, only like 3 of those little boxes right below where it says design tools. Is that normal or?
Yes, great question. So that's a good segue. When you click the gear icon, when that first pops out for you, click that gear icon, you can also select a comfort level. And so what I recommend is selecting intermediate. And that way it'll turn on all of the intermediate features. I haven't used the advanced features. I haven't needed to use any of them. So intermediate has been plenty for me. So you can select intermediate here, or you could also toggle on the different features individually that you think you want. But that's probably why, Carmen, that it might have been on the basic level.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
As the default, yeah. Any difficulties enabling the tools? You doing okay?
Actually, I am unable to get the tools going. You said I'm on a Mac, Option-Shift-D as in David.
Correct.
And you can do that from anywhere, like on the home page, or I didn't get that part.
Yeah, you can
Anywhere.
do any page, discussion, or assignment, and make sure that you have gone into edit mode in that page.
Okay, got it. That's what I'm doing wrong. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Rana, yeah, go for it.
Hi, Bree. Hi, everybody. So can I go back a little bit about the, because yeah, I did enable this one, but my question is about the Microsoft one. Can I ask you this question or later after this session? The licensing for the Microsoft one.
Oh, after the session would be great.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. How are we feeling, everyone? Are we ready to start retrofitting a page?
Just a quickie, should we all enable intermediate or, because I'm feeling pretty basic.
I am going to go over maybe 1 or 2 intermediate tools. So
Okay,
I
I'll
invite
enable it.
you to turn it on for this session. And then if
Okay.
it's too much, go back to basic later on. Okay. And I promise it won't get too intermediate. Okay, so what I invite you to do is to select a page or a discussion or an assignment with instructions that you would like to retrofit today. It can be anything you're interested in retrofitting. It will really be helpful to follow along with me step by step, so you can click on the same things that I'm clicking on. And I just want to make sure, I should have asked this at the beginning. Can everyone see my screen? Hopefully.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. And Rana, is that a new hand?
Oh, no, sorry. That's a thumbs up for seeing your screen.
Okay, great.
I'm sorry, Bree, I can't get to editing.
I can't get to editing.
So I'm on the class that I taught in the fall and to retrofit it. And I can't get to the place where you are where you're editing it.
Okay, so I would select a discussion or a page, and then there should be an edit button right here at the top.
Okay, let's see. Okay, all right. Okay, thank you.
Okay, great.
I didn't get to that fancy editing that you had though, but I mean, sorry, just go ahead and I'll.
Oh no, that's okay. I just want to make sure you could get the design tools enabled.
And yes, that's what I have not been able to do.
Okay, so that's this guy here. So once you go into, I'll just start one more time here.
Sorry.
No, not at all. We want to make sure without this step, we can't do anything else. We want to make sure. So make sure you click edit on whatever page you're trying to retrofit for today.
Okay.
Edit, and then you're going to do one of these 2 commands depending on whether it's a PC or a Mac. So PC is Alt-Shift-D and a Mac is Option-Shift-D.
Okay, Alt-Shift-D. Got him.
Perfect. And then last step, you only have to do this once, by the way. You go, you click on that gear icon, Design Tool Settings. On that bar.
You have a lot more design tools than I have. Does that matter? I have only 3.
Yeah, that's because the basic comfort level is the default.
Right. Okay, I hear you.
Go ahead and click Automatically Launch Tools, so you won't have to do those commands again.
Okay.
And then I would select intermediate, just at least for today, so we can get through.
Great. I heard you say that. Thanks.
Okay, great. Wonderful. So I think we're ready.
Okay.
And so I do want to show you what we're going to be doing today. All right. And so what I'm showing you here is my discussion prompt before I DesignPlused it. So you might notice I use a lot of these banners in my course. These were created in Canva. If you're interested, send me an email and I can walk you through it if you haven't used Canva. But it's an image that I create and download and then upload to Canvas. And then I just have kind of sections with some lines here, but nothing is really kind of super organized, I would say. And so I want to show you what it looks like after I've used DesignPlus. So I have the week 4 up here. I've got icons for each of my sections. They're kind of more sectioned off, if you will. I was able to create this nice clean yellow section here, so it's more emphasized for students. And then I was able to do some accordions here for resources so students can expand these if they want to. And then I have a module progress bar at the bottom so students can see where they are in the module. And so we're going to get through as much as we can today of these features. And I will go slow. I'll do it as many times as you want. Don't be shy. Let me know, hey, go back, you went too fast, or I broke something. That might happen too. When you're first trying this out, I know I broke the page multiple times. I'm going to give you a fail safe for that. Okay. All right. So I will go in my DesignPlus page so that we can get started. I'm hearing some background. Okay. All right, so everybody should go into edit in their whatever page they're working on today. We're going to stay in that same page for the whole breakout session today. All right, so the first thing that you'll want to do is create a theme. So under your design tools sidebar here, you should see a green and white button with a puzzle piece. And that is going to open up your options for themes. So click on that green and white puzzle piece. And that, like I said, will open up your themes. And a theme is going to be how your page will look structurally. So for me, this means that the icons are to the left and there's 2 lines over each header. So if you hover over any of these themes, you can see that kind of a preview of what that theme will look like once your page is done, right? And so you can choose any one that you want. I believe, let's see which one I chose here. My icons were to the left. Looks like this one. So once you have a theme that you like, you can go ahead and select it. And I actually think it's box left number 1. So I am going to click on that. You notice that it will create a green and white asterisk once you have selected your theme. Okay. And if you scroll up to the top of where you're editing your page, you'll notice you'll see a begin design tools wrapper and an end design tools wrapper. Everything that we create is going to end up between those 2 lines so that that content will be DesignPlus. So for now, all we've done is chosen a theme. Okay. Has everyone found the theme, or are there any questions so far on that? Okay. So now what you can do is you can come in here and you can edit your text. So for me, I had week 4 here. Week 4. And reading activity 3. Yeah, Karina.
So once we design this page, I know you said we can also do bulk designing, but can we just duplicate the page and it'll stay with the same formatting?
Yeah, you could do that as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Great question. So if you'd like to, at this point, you can save it just to see what this looks like so far. So far, all we have is this title up here that is DesignPlus and nothing else yet. If you're working in a page, if you were to click this kebab, you'll see a view page history button here, and you can click it and it'll have timestamps of all the saves of that page. And if you happen to break a feature at any point, you can go back and restore a previous version. When you're working in a discussion or an assignment, you don't have that option. But if you're in a page, you do have that option. So I strongly recommend saving after each step when you're first starting, so that you only have to go back, like 1 save rather than start over, because you don't want to lose all of your beautiful work. Karina, is that an answer?
You were mentioning, Bree, that you have that option with a page, but not with which other?
Not with a discussion or an assignment, but you do have that option when you're working in a page.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we're going to go back into edit. My design tools will pop out. Okay, and so the next thing we can do, you notice up here that I have an image, a let's discuss image that I want to use. So it is on the original page that I was editing. You could simply cut and paste it if you wanted to, but I will show you for our purposes how to insert an image. So all I did was after my title, I hit enter and my cursor went down underneath right here. So there's a couple ways that you can insert an image. You can use the Canvas rich content editor. You can go to insert image course. And for me, that's uploaded already in the course. So I can click on course images, or you can upload an image. And then here I can find my let's discuss image, which is right here. All I have to do is click on it and it will populate there. So that was inserting an image from the rich content editor. Insert image, course images. And now I can see that I have my image there. I'll go ahead and delete the original one. Okay. Okay. How are we doing so far? Any questions so far? Okay.
Will it center it on its own, or should we center it?
If you've used the dimensions, and I can send those to you all if you're interested, the dimensions for the Canva banner that I use, it will automatically stretch the full length of the page. But if your image is not that wide, you could click the image and then for me, it's not showing. So right above in the rich content editor, there's a kebab, those 3 vertical dots, and then you'll see the left aligned. You can go ahead and do center. Carmen, let me know if that worked for you.
Yeah, but I think what you mentioned earlier, probably should create them with the other dimensions, so I don't.
Yeah, you can do that.
Expand it. Yeah.
I believe if you go to Canva and you do custom design, I want to say they have a Canvas banner template that you can use, but I'm not 100% sure. But I can also give you those dimensions like I mentioned.
Thank you. That would be great.
Yeah. Karina, do you have a new hand?
My image just went in below the end design tools wrapper. So how do I undo that again?
I would just click the image and then hit your backspace or delete button. And so make sure you're inserting your image wherever your cursor is.
Okay.
So click before it says the end design tools wrapper, click right above that and then try it again.
Okay.
Let me know if that worked.
Okay.
Can you find an image or must you have an image?
Yes, that worked.
Okay, great. That's a great question. Let's see here. I'm looking for, give me one moment. One moment here. It's escaping me. There's a way that you can add images that are, oh, you know what? One second. There should be, here we go. Okay. So if you are trying to insert an image, I told you can go to insert image here. You can also go to the little spark plug button or the plug button and go to upload embed image. And then you can search on Unsplash Pixels or pull from your computer, or if you have a public URL, you could do that as well. So that was a question in the chat. Okay, and Lynn, I see your hand.
Yeah, I'm starting with a blank page, and I think I was just kind of stuck on how to add content because I had the begin design tool wrapper, and everything has to be inserted between the begin and the end. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then so you can add blocks of text. What blocks of text or content blocks did you use for the initial post and part one, or is that content that you had on the page? Oh, it's after the design wrapper. Got it.
Yeah, so that is where I'm headed next, is content blocks. So I think I'll be able to answer your question.
Okay. Yeah, because I was stuck on the header and I didn't have anything else. And so yeah, okay.
And yeah, the steps that I'm showing you, I'm going to explain how you can retrofit, but also how, if you're doing this from scratch, how that would work.
Okay.
So one thing I wanted to point out quickly is as you go, you'll notice you might see a red eyeball next to the check accessibility button here in your design tools sidebar. So you can go ahead and see what the issue is. The red eyeball means there's an error. And so for me, I need to do an image check, and I need to mark this image as decorative. So when I do that, you'll notice too, my little canvas person had a 1 before I did that, and it disappeared. So you can see that it's like fully integrated with the canvas accessibility checker as well. Okay.
Sorry, Bri, back to the, when I go into the spark plug thing, and I go to upload embed image, it has a thing that says CIDI Labs DesignPlus is requesting access to your account. You are authorizing this app as Karen Butland, your email address is. Do I have to click authorize?
Yes, I apologize. I forgot I had to do that the first time. And you can see mine down here. It says DesignPlus City Labs.
Okay.
You'll want to click on that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So content blocks. So this. Oh, Karina, go ahead.
Sorry, before we move on, so I noticed once I saved it, what it did, where you have the reading activity on my end, it kind of took it as a title instead of having like the plain text before. So it just, is that what it does? And then we're going to move on to doing like subsequent, I guess, headers or sections.
Yes.
If I'm explaining myself well, sorry.
So reading activity number 3 is our page title. And
Okay,
then all of these down here will be headings.
got it. Thank you.
All right. Let's move on to content blocks now. So first I'll show you, if you were doing this from scratch, you'll want to click inside your design tools wrapper, and you'll click on the add content blocks button here, this blue and white add content blocks button. And when you do that, you'll see there's a preset list here. You can go ahead and start clicking on these. You know, if you know you're going to need overview, objectives, activities, lectures, you can click as many of these as you want. And you'll notice they all got added below my image, and they all went in with that icon to the left because that's the theme we chose. And it already has preset headings. So you can do that. And then you could theoretically cut and paste each of your content text here. You can cut and paste those into where it says insert content here. That's one way to do this, okay? But I am also going to show you another way. So I'm going to delete these for now, and I will go back and show you how I'm deleting in just a minute. Okay, let's say instead, you wanted to take the text that was already here and have it automatically section off that content. What I'm going to do, I'm going to refer to this. So due date is my first header, my first heading that I want sectioned off. So if I come in here, I'm going to need to create a due date heading. So I'm typing in due date. What I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight those words, due date, whatever words you want for your heading. And then I'm going to come over here. It might say paragraph for you. It might say header 1 or header 2. But we want to click on this and select heading 3. Heading 3. Okay. So hopefully that made sense. What I'm going to do is now I'm going to change this text to regular paragraph. Okay. So now we have my due date is header 3, and then the text that's going to go in that section is a paragraph. I am going to highlight from the beginning of the header down to the last piece of text that I want sectioned off. So I just highlighted this first section. I'm going to come over to add content blocks. And then I'm going to select selection to block. That means it's going to block the text that I have highlighted. So I'm going to go ahead and click it. And you can see that it pulled it up into the Design Tools wrapper automatically. I'm going to show you one more time on another header. So my next header is part 1, responding to this week's text. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to make sure it's a header 3. I'm going to make sure that this text is just a simple paragraph. Let me remind myself. Okay. So now this is my next section, part 1 down to the last bullet point. And we can see that's what I wanted. Part 1 down to the last bullet point. I'm going to click selection to block and it's going to pull it up. Are there questions so far?
Can you scroll up? Yeah.
So doing it this way, it doesn't automatically generate icons. So we'll have to do that manually. So it's kind of just your preference. Again, if you wanted to click at the end of your last block here and then just maybe add a preset one called assignments, you could do that. And then what you could do is just highlight the next section. And then you could just cut and paste that in there. It does the same thing. Okay. Was everyone able to do at least one block? Or are there any questions, or should I show that again? And I called this prompt questions.
I'm not sure if you covered it, but I did the highlighting and then selection to block. Is there any way you can select, let's say you already have objectives, purpose, readings, and lectures. Is there any way that you can place it somewhere specifically?
That's where I'm headed next. Great
Oh,
question.
sorry. Thank you.
No, good. Okay. I'm going to go through quickly here and then just block these off. So I'm highlighting selection to block. I'm going to come here. Grading is a header 3. Highlight this. Selection to block. Resources. Selection to block. And learning outcomes. Selection to block. I'm going to save this so we can see what this looks like. Okay, so now you can see in between these two lines, because that's the theme again that I chose, my headers are due date, part 1, prompt questions, part 2, grading, and resources, which didn't seem to work, so I'll have to fix that. And learning outcomes. Okay, so I have all my blocks here. I'm going to see what's going on with my resources one really quick. See here, it might not be a header 3. It's not, it's a header 2. So I need to change this to header 3. And then all of these, then underneath, I want a header 4 because those are all going to be in the same place, in the same block. Okay, that should have fixed the problem. Okay. All right. Any questions so far with content blocks?
If there is a section that inadvertently gets pushed down and I wanted it to be up on top, is there a way to shift the block?
Yes, and that's a great segue. So I'm headed there next. So in your design tools wrapper, let's say you want the due date at the bottom, right? Or maybe even just second, right? You want that to be the second block. If you come into create edit content here, and then add rearrange content blocks, you can drag and drop on the left here your blocks. So let's say again, I want a due date. If you hover over those double arrows, you'll see that it's highlighting in blue the section that I'm about to move. So if I wanted my due date lower, I can drag it under part 1. And now you can see it moved it on the page down under part 1. Right? So on this page, I have due date listed at the top. Some of these are slightly different. I have medium here. Prompt questions, replying, grading, learning outcomes, resources. I have these two switched, so I'll do grading and then learning outcomes and then resources. And that's how you can organize or rearrange your blocks.
Yay.
Pretty cool. This is also where you can duplicate, right? So if you wanted to just duplicate something and then maybe change the heading, you can do that. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel or do any copy and pasting. If you wanted to delete a content block, you can do so by clicking the white and red X on the right-hand side, and that will completely delete that block. How are we doing? I'll rename this just so that it's aligned. Choose your submission. That's what it's called. So I just changed one of my headings here, and you can notice it still didn't update here in my add rearrange content blocks. I can click refresh list, and it will now show that change. Okay, I'm going to save one more time. Okay, so we can see that I have a new heading here, choose your submission medium. I have all my sections. I was able to fix that. And my learning outcomes is now above my resources because I moved that. Okay. I'm going to go back into edit. Are there any questions at this point? I'm going to take a peek at my cheat sheet here, see where I wanted to go next. Yeah, moving right along. One of my favorite things is icons. So are you all ready to play with some icons? This is one of my favorite parts of design.
Yep, ready.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. So we are going to go back into create edit content. Create edit content, add rearrange content blocks, same place we just were, add rearrange content blocks. So I want to draw your attention to these blank gray squares next to the heading of each of your blocks. So do you all see most of these should be blank because if you didn't choose a preset block that already had an icon, then it's going to be blank here. Do you all see that? Hopefully. Okay, I'm gonna move forward. So let's say for due date, what do I have here? Probably a calendar, right? I have a calendar next to due date. So I'm going to click that gray square next to due date. If you hover over it, it will say change icon. So I'm going to click. I'm going to search in the search icons field. I'm going to type the word calendar, and I can select any calendar that I want. Maybe I want, I don't know. Maybe I want one with a little timer on it. Okay, so I will select that icon. You notice that it will put it right there next to due date for you. Now for choose your submission medium, make sure you come back to that blank square. Click that one, and now I think I have an up arrow there. Oh, okay, maybe just arrow. And probably something like that. Okay, mine has a little paper on it. That's fine too. If, let's say you wanted to change it, if while you're still here, and it will tell you icon for block, choose your submission medium at the top so you know which one you're changing. You can go ahead and change it. Let's say I wanted the paper one. I can just change it and it'll change it over here. Okay, prompt questions. I think the pencil's actually fine. Replying to peers. Let's see here. I have a little discussion bubble. So I'll come over to replying to peers, gray square, click that one. And maybe it's, I don't know what word I typed, maybe discussion. Beautiful. So I'm going to select that one. Grading. I had a little notebook with a check mark. I don't know if I'll see it here, but oh, notebook with a check mark. Looks good. Learning outcomes. I know I always use a check mark for those. Okay, and then resources. I like using this little signpost here. Okay, so now we can see that I have all of my icons filled in. And I will save one more time. So now you can see that all of these have populated here. Now, I do want to point out that my icons are defaulted to the blue and white because that is the default color palette for Cuyamaca. If you're at Grossmont, you might be seeing green and white as your default color palette here. I am going to show you color today. For my Black Literature course, this banner that you're seeing is the color palette for the whole course. And you notice the blue doesn't necessarily match. And so I would want to align the colors to match, which I will do shortly. But I wanted to see if there's any questions on inserting icons.
So I have a basic question. So I don't have any icons and I didn't add any. So can you repeat the process of just to adding the icons?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
So in edit, you're going to go to create edit content, add rearrange content blocks. None of my squares are blank here now because I have icons already. But next to, can you tell me what your headers are for your content blocks? Oops, Karen, can you still hear me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Due date.
Okay, so next to the words due date, you're going to see a blank gray square in the sidebar.
Okay, and then just spell in calendar. Okay.
Yeah, so you can click there and you can search icons for whatever you're looking for. You could also search by category. So say, I don't know, you wanted like shapes. right? You can click on shapes and it will show you what's there, because maybe you don't know exactly what you want, right? So you can also do it that way. And then you can remove the icon either if you don't want it, or yeah, I would, to change it, you can just click on a different one and it would change it for you.
I see. And then I have one for like total points.
Mhm.
I can put an icon for that too, correct?
Yeah, for any of your content block headers. So for any section that you have here listed under add rearrange content blocks, if you have a total points one, you would click on that gray square to change that icon.
Okay. Should I just put down like total points or grade?
Grade or points, or whatever image you wanted to indicate points. You could do like a check mark or
I see. Okay.
mhm.
Like that one.
It's
Thank
kind of fun. You get to kind of choose your own adventure here when it comes to the icons.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to show you how to change the color. While we're working with icons, I'm going to show you that first. This week 4 up here is a different set of tools that I'll show you in just a minute. But icons, what you're going to do is on your actual page that you're editing, click on your icon that you want to change for the color. You click on the icon so your cursor is blinking on that icon. And then you're going to come over to customize the style. Customize the style. And I'll show you what that looks like when it's all listed there. So under create edit content, or excuse me, let me go here. There's a customize the style with looks like a blue starburst as the icon for it. Customize the style, and then current element style. Current element style. So click the icon, customize the style, and then current element style. You're looking for a colorful square that will indicate color for anything in DesignPlus that you're trying to edit as far as color. It will be a filled in square with color. So you notice for my icon, because I already have it selected, it's telling me the background color for that icon is blue and the text color is white. So if I wanted to match this, I have kind of a red background with white text. So what I'm going to do is click on this blue square and I'm going to change it to red. And you'll see that it changed my icon to red now. And I'm going to show you a few more of these so that you can see the process. I'm going to go down to my next block, choose your submission medium. I'm going to click the icon. And now, since I'm already under current element style, all I have to do is change the background color. Right. Again, I'm going to click on my pencil icon. I am under customize the style, current element style, looking for background color, and I'm changing it to red. And I'm going to go through and do the rest. Okay, and now all my icons are red and white. So I will go ahead and save. Are there questions on changing the icon color? I'm seeing a question in the chat. Let me see. Just showing you the saved version of the icons. So I'll go back into edit. Is there an undo button? I believe there is. Undo right here. So I will, let's see, I will customize the style, current element style. Let's say I'm like, oops, I didn't want that color, right? If I click on undo, it changed it back for me to that red. Okay.
Can you change the box to a circle or something different than just the box?
Yes, that would be back in your theme. So if you went
Okay.
to, let me close this. Here we go. If I went to a different theme,
Okay.
I can do that and it'll just shift all my icons based on the theme that I change it to.
Okay.
And you don't have to start over with content blocks or anything if you change your theme. All your content blocks remain intact. It's just now a different, you can see like the headers are different.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm not remembering which one I had here. Box. Okay, here we go.
Bree, I didn't follow the last step when you were saying if you wanted to undo it. I got to current element style and then I didn't see where that little undo button was.
So if you're in customize and current element style, and let's say you don't like this orange color over here, you can go up right next to add content blocks. There's an undo.
Got it.
And it
I
will,
didn't see that.
yeah, no problem.
I'm not seeing any colors. I'm in current element blocks and then it's colors basics, but when I click on the little X's and stuff, I don't see anything.
So do you see the squares next to, like under background color, there should be a square.
Yeah.
If you click on that, you should be able to select a different color.
So it shows a big, it just shows a, I don't know how to explain it. There's not a bunch of boxes like yours shows. There's like just a big, a huge box with like different rainbow colors in it.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So one thing I forgot to mention, the reason I have all these colors here,
yeah,
because it's pulling from my Canva banner that I have on the page.
Okay.
It's automatically giving me the palette that I have in my picture. If you have a picture, that's totally okay. What you can do is you can drag this little dot in like the gradient here. You can drag it around to choose whatever color. And then you can also slide this up and down on the rainbow scale here to get a different color. So you can use the slider and then the drag and drop little dot there. Like say you wanted green and you want it to be like this green, you can drag it over.
Okay. And then once you find the one you want, then you hit choose.
Yes.
And then it changes. Oh, good. Okay.
Oops.
Okay, now it changed. Oh yeah, it changed the background color. And then I would do the same thing if I wanted to change the text color.
That's correct.
Okay.
And something to keep an eye out for, and I see your hand, Karina. Let me come over here. Something to look out for. If you all see the normal text and large text words here, and then there should be 2 or 3 A's underneath those, that is giving you the accessibility score for the contrast for the colors that you've chosen. So if I change this red to white and my text to white, you can see it changed it to fail because you can't see the icon anymore. There's not enough contrast. So you want to make sure that you see 2 or 3 A's and that this is green here across the board so that it's accessible. If I change it back to red, you can see now that the contrast is accessible. Karina.
I think you did mention it in the beginning, but I kind of forgot. Since we're editing in pages, can we also edit in assignments?
Yes, I'm actually editing a discussion right now.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
my question is for that one, because I noticed that one of my headers was, what was it, grading rubric. Can we add a grading rubric, a pre-existing grading rubric into that section?
It would likely have to be an image, or you could insert it as a table.
Okay, so I would kind of like manually have to insert it instead of like importing it from my assignment.
If you wanted it in the instructions in your content blocks,
Right.
if you're working in a discussion, you would go to the kebab, and then this would be add rubric.
Okay. Okay, got it. So it would be kind of separate in the bottom of, yeah, got it.
Yeah,
Thank
and if
you.
you're in an assignment, the add rubric button would be down here underneath your instructions.
Thank you.
Okay, how are we feeling about icons and icon color? Okay. So I mentioned before that this week 4 piece is actually part of your theme. And so you would change the color for this slightly differently. Actually, let me see. Customize the style, current element style. Yeah, this isn't showing me. So what you're going to do, oops, one moment. You'll see colors for banner theme. Colors for banner theme. And here I can see all the colors that it's showing me each of the elements are for the banner. The ones that I want to change are the blue ones. So I find the blue squares, and I believe that one was red as well. Yes. So I'm going to change the blue to red right here. And then that changed it to red. So again, I was in customize the style, colors for banner theme. And that's going to do your banner theme up here. The banner is essentially where the title of your page is. Are there any questions on changing the color of your banner theme?
Yeah, so which one was the one that you clicked on, unit wrapper or unit name or both? Oh,
And
both?
actually, yeah, I noticed when I changed the unit wrapper to red, it actually also changed the unit name for me.
Oh, okay.
I did them both at the same time. To be quite honest, I don't really know what the difference is. I know that I saw a blue square here, and I know those are the ones that I want to be a different color. So that's kind of my cheat sheet is when I'm doing color, I just look for the color box that I want to change, and I click on that box. And then I changed it to red.
I noticed that there were 2 boxes, and I put week in one and the number in the other. And you have it within the same box. Does in the future, like if you're trying to edit and create lots of them, would it be better to have it in a separate box, or?
It's totally your preference. I think what I did is in my second box, I just hit backspace and it deleted it. But you can totally leave it. It's your choice for sure.
Bria, I'm sorry, I have I have a question. How do you create a box? So I created a block called prompt questions, but it doesn't have an icon in front of it. How do I do that?
Yeah, so you're going to want to go to create edit content.
Okay.
And then add rearrange content blocks. It's kind of not very intuitive that that's where you would add icons, but
okay. So wait, hold on one sec. Add content blocks. Okay.
And then next to each of your headers, I forget which headers you just listed.
Prompt questions is the one I want to add. That's prompt questions.
So next to the words prompt questions, you're going to see an empty gray box.
Yes, I see that.
Left. Go ahead and click on that.
I see it. Okay, so find something that I think I might want.
Exactly. And you can search, or you can choose a category and kind of filter it that way.
Oh, right on. Okay.
Like you can have a sports category, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Right on. Okay.
Let me check.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mariah. Okay, so I am noticing that I still have some lingering green text here, and all of my text for my headers and everything is black. And so that is just the regular rich content editor. So this green text that I want to make black, I would just find the A in the rich content editor and select black. And then I don't think I had anything. This was not like bolded or italicized or anything. So I'll just unbold and unitalicize. And then this was smaller, so I'm going to highlight this and then bring this down to maybe 14 or so. So that's just the same rich content editor that we've had in Canvas this whole time. So my headers were all black, unbolded.
Bree, I added up to the top, my banner is an image. It looks like it was a stock image of Acadia National Park.
Okay.
Can I add text to that? I can't figure out how to put across that week 1 or let's discuss or something, whatever I want to add to that.
Yeah, let me find that. So I want to say, okay.
It was under alt text, I think. So I went to
for
choose a banner image.
Yeah, so you can choose a banner image here and add, like you said, the Acadia National Park. And then you can add alt text. It will probably have you do that under the accessibility.
Okay.
And, well, excuse me, alt text is right here above the image choices.
Okay.
But if you wanted to add more text, let's say underneath your image, you could say customize the banner text.
Ah, there we go.
And then if you wanted a subtitle, your subtitle would, it removed my image subtitle here. You can see where it's going right here on my page.
I see it. Yep. Is there anything that could go in the image, do you think?
On top, like layered on top of it.
Yeah.
I believe you would want to do that manually, like in Canva or something like that.
Okay. I'll play around with it. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. All right. Let me get that decorative. Okay. So we're pretty close now to the version that I have here. The only remaining features are at the bottom, which are the accordions and the module progress bar. So I can move into those now. I'm going to scroll down to where I want my accordions, which is under my resources tab, or excuse me, my resources block. So I'm going to scroll down to my resources block. And there's a couple ways to do this. You can hit enter after the header, go into add advanced elements, and then click accordions and tabs. So because we already have a resources block, I'm going to instead choose at cursor. At cursor. Did it do that? Let's see. One moment. I'm going to make sure I did that correctly. Add advanced elements at cursor. Okay. So you'll see that panel heading and panel content get added here. So I know that I have 1 panel, 2 panels, 3 panels, 4 panels. So after the end of the first one, I'm going to go ahead and click add panel 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. You can see they're getting added here. You can either edit the headers here or on your page. So here's what I'm going to do. My first one is called pre-submission help. So I'm going to type pre-submission help. My next one, excuse me, is submission help. Then discussion, organizational resources, and finding feedback help. Okay. All right. And you can see that those just got added there. Then what you can do is you can cut and paste. So for pre-submission help, I'm going to cut and paste those first 3 links, and I'm going to put them under right on top of panel content and paste them in there. So now I have pre-submission help with the 3 links. I'm going to do the same thing for submission help. Cut and paste. Discussion organizational resources. Cut and paste. And then finding feedback help. Cut and paste. And then I can delete, these were the original headers that I had that were not in an accordion. Okay, I'm going to save and then I'll take some questions. See if I, oh, I always forget this step. I apologize. All right, let's come back down here. I'm going to click into my first header, go back to add advanced elements, accordions, and tabs. So for type, notice it still says none because I haven't chosen which format I want yet. But let's say I wanted an accordion. It tells you that you've selected accordion or expander or tabs. And I'll show you what each of those looks like so you can see. So accordion will look like this. And so students can come in and click them one by one. Right? Or if you chose expander, students will have the option to expand and collapse all of them at the same time. So I'll go to add advanced accordions and tabs. I'm going to change this to an expander just to show you. And I will save it. And you can see now that you have the expand all, collapse all option because you've chosen expander. Okay. And then the last one I will show you is tabs. This is similar to how we've been doing tabs in Canvas, except that it's a little bit easier. So I can instead choose tabs, and I'll show you what that option looks like. Okay, so down here, you can see I've got a pre-submission help tab, a submission help, discussion, organizational resources, and finding feedback. So that's how you would just kind of determine based on the content that you have, whether you want the accordion, expander, or tab. When you cut and paste links, yes, Karina, it should carry the links. Okay, what questions do we have on accordions, expanders, and tabs?
Could you do it one more time? Just that part, I kind of wasn't able to follow when you were creating the sections.
Absolutely. So let's say, so I've already formatted this, but let's say you wanted an accordion or an expander in a new content block, right? Because that might actually be easier. If you put your cursor at the end of your last content block right before End Design Tools wrapper, you come over to Add Advanced Elements. And then the first link should be accordion/tabs. Accordion/tabs. If you're creating a brand new block, I would click Add as Block right here. Okay, so now it has given you a new block, your first panel heading and content pair. And then you can add as many panels. A panel is like one tab, or a panel would be pre-submission help. And the panel content is what I have the links here underneath. So you determine like this is 1, 2, 3, 4 panels. So you can add, you click the add panel 1, 2, 3, and now you can see that there are 4. And then you can change the heading names of these here or here. And then you can add the content under each one where the smaller text is. So I'll just do 1 panel content 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4. And then you have the same options as you do with content blocks. You can delete one. Let's say you only wanted 3. I can delete number 4. You can see that number 4 got deleted. You can rearrange these just like you did before. And then before you save, you just want to select whether we're doing accordion, expander, or tab. And then you can always change that afterwards once you save and kind of decide how you want the information to be organized.
Thank you. That was great.
Yeah, no problem. So I'll save this one just so, oh, let's see. I'll leave that one as tabs and I'll leave this one as an accordion, and you can kind of see the difference on the same page. So we've got, here's one as a tab. And then here's how the same content can be organized instead as an accordion. How are we doing?
I'm just taking it all in.
We are recording this. And so you can always come back to this part of the video and, pause, slow it down. Lynn, yes.
I may have missed it, but how did you change the background of this section in the middle on your page?
I haven't gotten to that yet. I don't know.
Okay. I thought I missed it. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Bree?
Yes.
I changed the color of one of my accordions,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. And I don't know now how to change the colors of the other ones. I don't know what I did to do that.
Okay, so most likely what you did is you clicked in a header or in the content area, one of those, and then customize the style, current element style. And then I think if you scroll down background color, you can change the background color of your tab. And that's also whoever had that question before about how I got the yellow, you can do that anywhere on your page. So wherever you click, if you're
Okay, cool.
in style and background color, you can change, any of those.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, Bree, I highlighted instead of did that block style. So I went back and I put like the more muted block style, which is much nicer. And I can't get the bright yellow highlight out of there. Can you show me how to remove it?
Yeah, are you in maybe like a content block?
I'm in a content block. And go on.
Yeah, I want to say you can go to current element, customize the style.
Yep.
Element style. And then under colors basic, you should see a background color box. And then you should be able to click the one with the little gray and white squares. That's transparent. Oh, that changed it to black.
Let's see if I did it. I think it worked. Let's see.
You could also just choose white.
Yeah.
And stuff. I can't get mine off either.
Oh no, now it turned black.
Yeah, don't choose that one. I think you have to go line by line and select white for each line. That's how I got rid of mine.
Okay, I'll try again. It looks much nicer and the more muted block highlighting. Okay, customize style. Let's try to get it out of there. So when I put it in current element style, I chose it as a highlighter in there. But you're saying to try to go through it through the customized color palette?
Oh, did you choose text emphasis highlights? Or did you maybe?
Yes, yeah, no, I can't. Okay, so the background color's in there, but I still can't get the nice pretty background's in there, but the bright yellow is still over it.
Okay, you
Maybe
might
it was
play
text
around.
emphasis highlights. Yeah, but I unchecked highlight yellow and it's still in there. I
Okay.
unchoosed it. That's
If you can,
not the right way to say that. Unchose it.
I have just one more element to show. Could you stick around and I can troubleshoot with you?
Yeah, cool. Sounds good.
Thank you. Okay, last one, and this is really quick. Actually, there's two, I'm sorry. Okay, so at the end of your last content block, the last thing I'm going to show you is how to get this module progress bar in there. If you want students to see where they are in the module, at the bottom of every page. Click at the end of your last content block, and you will go to Add Advanced Elements and Module Progress Navigation. Add Advanced Elements, Module Progress Navigation. I prefer the second one, but you can see the different kinds that they have. It'll give you kind of a preview of what it will look like. I like the second one. It just shows the icons and where they are in the module. Module item details is like a list. And then the completion will show checks and X's, or excuse me, check marks for the items that students have completed. But I believe that students have to manually check those off. So I just like the second one. It's pretty basic. I'm going to click Insert at Cursor. Notice when I do that, it's in my accordion, right? It's inside my panel 3 accordion. So if I wanted it somewhere else, I can click on it and remove it. And instead, what you can do is add a new content block. And then selection to block without highlighting anything. Let's see if I'm ready to. Oh. Create new. Oh, bummer. Let's see. Huh. They're showing there, but let's see. I'm just gonna choose, okay. This is interesting. It's never happened to me before. I just clicked a preset one and now I'm gonna do add advanced elements, insert at cursor. Okay, that works too. And then I'm just gonna delete the header. Let's see if that'll work. Usually when you click selection to block, it will just give you an empty one underneath, and then you can insert this at cursor. But again, it's under Add Advanced Elements and Module Progress Navigation. When you click on it, you have the same options for color. So I'm going to go to customize the style, current element style, and change the background to black. Okay. And it's going to look funky until you save it. Once you save it, you'll get that pretty navigation bar. While I'm in here, I'll show you the very, very last thing. Add content blocks and remove empty in the bottom right-hand corner. So if you've maybe forgotten to delete some extra space in here or an empty content block, if you click remove empty, it will get rid of all of that on your page for you, so you don't have to find it. And then I'm just going to delete these pre-existing lines that I had on my original page. Maybe I'm going to cheat. Don't look at this. I'm deleting the HTML. Okay, sometimes it's finicky. Okay, so I just deleted the lines that I had underneath, but the end of your page should say End Design Tools Wrapper. And now we are pretty close to what I had here on our DesignPlus page, and you can see the the module navigation bar was right here. Amy.
Shoot.
Amy, I see your hand. Are you able to unmute?
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I was lost there for a second. I was changing like colors of banners and things, and then I became concerned about people who are color deficient.
Yeah.
So will the accessibility like check for those kind of things, or do I need to just avoid certain colors?
Yeah, great question. So let's say I wanted to check the accessibility of my icons. Well, actually, yeah. So if I wanted to check the accessibility of a specific color, I could go into customize the style, current element style. These A's here, the normal and large text, that tells you your accessibility of the contrast. So right now, AAA is the best. The more A's, the better when it comes to color contrast. If I were to say change this to like yellow and maybe my text was white, I would never do this, but you can see that this fails, right? So
Interesting. Okay.
you just want to make sure that you are green here with hopefully 3 A's. 2 or 3 A's would be passing for accessibility for color contrast. And then you also have an accessibility checker down here, which checks the accessibility of the whole page. So image check, it's just making sure that I've marked that page as decorative, for example. But as long as you're in the green for color contrast, you should be good.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. That was an ambitious session. We got through so much. Do you have any questions about anything we went over today? Hopefully you're feeling empowered and inspired to go play around with this.
What's the best way to access the recording if we want to hear this again?
Yeah, we're going to post it to our Adobe Spark Winter Camp webpage.
Oh,
And
okay.
so let's see. I can get you the link to the website here. And then actually I have it pasted in our little cheat sheet. Let's see here. I'm going to paste in the link to our webpage. This will be available a week or 2 from now. It takes a little bit of time to get the recordings. But we will be posting all of the sessions to that website.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Bree, I'm sorry if you've answered this before, but is it possible to copy what you've done from module to module without redoing it?
Yeah, so if you're in a discussion or an assignment that if you've retrofitted a discussion or an assignment, you can, if you go into your module list or your discussions, wherever, you can click the 3 dots and click duplicate.
Okay.
However, let's say you have like 10 or something that you wanted. I would instead actually use the multi-tool and create a template. Let's say for a discussion, you could create a template.
Okay.
And then in your edit mode, in your let's see here. In edit mode, if you go to create edit content, you can copy existing content, and then your pages that you have as a template,
Okay.
be right here listed for you, and you can pull in your template. That was in Amber's session for today.
Okay.
So you would want to see that recording.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
I am 1 minute over. I'm going to stop the recording and let you all go to lunch. I'm happy to stick around for a minute or 2 if you have any questions. I know I was troubleshooting with somebody, so I'm happy to stick around. Thank you all so much for coming.
It was me, it's Catherine. But I think I figured it out.